what future are we preparing for Congo? What future are we preparing for that country?
That's a question.
Well, I want all of us to sort of simply think of that question for 1 or 2 minutes. Try to digest that question. What does it mean to each of us? And what do we think about that question? On a personal note, it's a question that confronts me, inspires me, and daunts me every single day. And I also think it's a consuming question to many Congolese at home as well as in the diasporas. Now, I want us to imagine Congo, the Congo of 2020. I want us to imagine the kind of Congo we want to bequeath to our children. Just imagine that Congo. What that Congo should possibly be. I do not pretend to have all the answers to these questions. And I know this debate takes place at a time where Congo remains a battlefield, a battleground, where proxies are fighting for control of natural resources, which are used to make mobile phones and laptops. And women's body has become another battlefield, which we often don't talk about. But simply, let's try to imagine what that Congo could possibly be. Because this conflict is one of the conflicts, this Congo, the conflict in the Congo, is a conflict which not only threatens to accentuate poverty and instability in the regions, it's also a conflict which threatens to lock the people of the regions, people of the Great Lake region, into an indestructible conflict if we don't deal with it, if we don't address it. So tonight I want to set out the principles which I think should guide, should lead our fight, the fight to save the Congo. But before I set out those principles, I think it's essential that we are also clear about the task that lays ahead, about the need to save the country. Why is it essential for many of us to get involved? I found a quote which I would like to share with us. It's a quote which lends support to what I want to talk about. Over half a century ago, a young man, quite good looking like me, by the name of Franz Fanon, a Martinican born writer, described the Congo as, I'll read it just to make sure I've got it correct, as the trigger of Africa, which will determine the political future of the subcontinent. Put it differently, put it mildly, Africa will become what the Congo becomes. We are, by historical luck, blessed with indescribable resources, natural wealth. We sit right at the heart of the African continent, with 9 different neighbors touching all corners of Africa, north, east, south, west. And what that geography means is that prosperity, stability in Southern Africa cannot be linked to prosperities and stabilities in Northern Africa if Congo is not functioning. Prosperities and stability in Eastern Africa cannot be linked to prosperities and stabilities in Western Africa if Congo isn't functioning. Indeed, as we often say, we have more diamonds, more gold, more cotton, more timber, more cobalt, more copper, more tungsten than any other countries in Africa. Congo alone has over 50% of all rivers in Africa.
That's right, yes.
Congo alone has this amazing capacity to feed the whole of Central African region and part of Southern African regions. We have more agricultural land than any other countries in Africa. We have a cultural energy, a cultural industry, which has influenced music as far as Ivory Coast in Western Africa and Cuba in the Caribbean, and a young and entrepreneurial generations. But these potentials, these great blessings that we have, which we sit on, has never been realized. They've never been translated into realities. Indeed, when we talk about Congo now, or indeed the African continent, we talk about Congo in a 3D lenses. We see Congo and Africa in a 3D lenses as this place with disasters, disruptions, and disease. And these are huge, massive problems we face. But they are unsurmountable. They can be overcome. They can be changed. We can indeed create the Congo, a new Congo.
That's right.
The way I see it, this fight, our fight, the fight to save the Congo, the fight to create a better, a new Congo, it's a fight to end conflict with the capital C, not only in the regions, but also across the African continent. We have lost over 5.4 million people since 1998. And to many people, when we say 5.4 million people, well, it sounds like a statistic. We simply quote it to tell people, to give people an example, an idea of how huge, massive this crisis is. But these are not statistics. These are human beings. Someone's father, someone's mother, someone's sister, someone's brother, someone's girlfriend or boyfriend, auntie or uncle, nephew and nieces. These are people like you and I. They breathe like you and I. They have longings just like you and I. Let me put it into perspective. Those 5.4 million people killed, this death toll is greater than having a 9/11 every single day for 356 days, having the number of people who died in the genocide that struck Rwanda in 1994, having the total number of people who died in mid-1990s during the Bosnian armed conflict, the slaughter, the cleansing in Bosnia, having all the people who died in the recent genocide in Darfur, and having all the people who died in the Great Asian tsunamis and Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined and then doubled. And yet, rarely hear a word. No one says a word. It doesn't make it to the news. It remains this forgotten, this unspoken about issue, an African issue. Congo and Africa is seen as this place far removed from London, from Paris, from Washington. But we are not. Congo is only a few hours away on a flight from London. About 8 hours. The same time on the train from London to Scotland. About 8 hours. So where do we stand as a people? And I say, we do not need any more killing. No more women should be raped. No one should be displaced. We don't want another conflict. No more wars, no more invasions, no more military actions. understanding. That's what we want. That's what we are fighting. And our fight, this fight to save the Congo, this fight to create a new, a better Congo, is a fight for peace, a fight for stability. I dream of a Congo that would cultivate and protect democratic space and freedom and human rights and fair and just society, not only within its borders, but also beyond its borders. That's the Congo we should be looking to create. That's the Congo we want to create. And this means new ideas, new voices, new leaders, new ideas to shape policies, intelligent policies and pragmatic strategies that would break through the limit and obstacles of the present. The coming few years must not be the years of politics as usual. Saving the Congo requires a new kind of politics. New voices, voices which would outline and materialize the old dreams of Lumumba and Kwame Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere. Dreams of creating a united Africa. Dreams of creating an Africa at peace with itself. Just imagine an Africa at peace with itself. And equally we need new leaders. People who would build lessons of the current crisis into their policies and strategies. People who would defend even those who do not share their political values, their ethnicities, sexual orientations, or any other differences. Leaders who would strike the diplomatically delicate deals, set new directions, and set about creating that new Congo. And this task, this massive, huge task, falls on us primarily. Those of us, the traditional owners and custodians of the land we call Africa. It comes down to us, the sons, daughters, and friends of the land we call Congo. It's to us to bring about the new Congo, to create a Congo where justice can rise up and hope and history rhyme. Because that's the Congo I want to be in when my spirit leaves my flesh. And I hope you will join us in this fight. Thank you.